Hi everyone, my name is Mikaela. I use she, her pronouns, and I work with the Pikes Peak Library District. Today I'm going to walk you all through how to draw portraits of a few characters from the upcoming Suicide Squad film. And as always, remember that these characters are copyrighted, so these tutorials are for practice, not for profit. And with this intro out of the way, we can go ahead and get started. Okay, so for this project, you will need drawing paper, a pencil, and an eraser. So as I said, we are going to be drawing portraits of a few characters from the Suicide Squad. We're going to be drawing 5 specifically, and we are going to start blocking in their heads. So the first thing you want to do is draw 4 circles and then an oval shape, which you'll see kind of at the end of this part of the video. Make sure that the circles are all about the same size. You can put them wherever you want on the page. I did 3 at the top, and then you'll see I'll kind of like center the other 2 underneath. And that's all you have to do for this first part. Right, so as I said, this 5th shape is going to be this oval with this like point at the top. It's going to end up being King Shark, if that helps you with the shape at all. The next step is blocking in everybody's jaw lines. To do this, draw a straight line down the center of the circle, as I've done here, and then extending out from the bottom of the circle, block in everybody's jaws. This first one that I've done is going to be Peacemaker, and he has a really square jaw. The second one is going to be Harley Quinn, and she has a really elfin face. So everything is kind of curved. She has a really curved jawline that comes to a point at the chin. This third character is called Bloodsport, in the movie played by Idris Elba, and he also has a very square jaw, but the chin is a lot narrower than Pacemaker's, so it's going to look a lot like the first character that we've drawn, but the chin is going to be a bit smaller, but everything is still really angled. The fourth character is Polka Dot Man. And his chin is really, really round, so you can basically turn this entire face into an oval with a really round jaw. And then we're not really doing anything with King Shark yet, so just draw a line down the middle, bisecting the face. Okay, so next is lightly blocking in the eyes, nose, mouth, and ears of all of the faces. You can use a separate piece of paper to cover the rest of the drawing if you're worried about smudging the pencil marks with your hand, like I've done. You don't have to do that if you're not worried about it. But just lightly block in the eyes, like I'm doing here with Pacemaker, and then blocking in where the nose will go. The nose will kind of hit the bottom of that circle where we've drawn, and then the mouth will be about halfway between the bottom of the nose and the chin. The ears start at the top where that horizontal line is, kind of in the middle of the eyes, and extend down about to the bottom of the nose. You can play with placement. If you exaggerate features, it changes the faces quite a bit. Pacemaker's face has a really wide set, square look to him. And then Harley Quinn is going to have some slightly bigger eyes, a bigger mouth because she's smiling, and like a thinner nose. So you can kind of see in comparing all of these portraits that if you play with and exaggerate the features, you'll get some really distinct looks for a lot of the characters. Okay, so now we've come to Bloodsport, and in James Gunn's film, the Suicide Squad movie coming out soon, or it might already be out depending on when you're watching this video, this character is wearing a helmet. So you do not have to block in any eyes, but this weird kind of shape for the mouth is going to turn into some teeth. So make this kind of like truncated diamond shape, and then call it good for now. With Polka Dot Man, everything on Polka Dot Man is really round. He wears goggles, so you can kind of block in just some straight circles for the eyes, and then make everything kind of as round as possible. His nose is pretty round, and so is his mouth. So keep that in mind when you're blocking in his features. And now we have come to King Shark, who is the most different. We're kind of blocking in here his nose and eyes at the same time, which is why we're drawing in this curved line that kind of ends with the eyes, and then the nose is indicated by that drooping line in the middle. And then his mouth is a similar shape, just flattened out a little bit, and that's really all you have to do right now. Now we're going to start working on individual characters instead of blocking in everybody all at one time. We're starting with Peacemaker, and you can see I'm like darkening some of the lines in the jaw, the lines that I know I want to keep. And then we're going to start blocking in his other details. Peacemaker wears a helmet. It's kind of a half moon circle shape that extends up from his nose over his head. And follow along as best as you can with me for some of those details. I also recommend looking up some reference photos to practice getting some of the details in this helmet. And yeah, just follow along as best as you can. Anytime I'm drawing something round or circular, I find it really helpful to rotate my paper. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get the top of Peacemaker's helmet as round as I can, and making sure that it looks as round upside down as it does from my perspective when it's right side up. Next is Harley Quinn. We're going to start with her by blocking in her hair. In the James Gunn film, she's kind of wearing pigtails that sit at the base of her skull a little bit, so that's the hairstyle we're going to be putting on her. But if you prefer to do something else, that is entirely up to you and definitely encouraged. Make her hair look however you want it to. And then that will kind of dictate the rest of her face as well. I like to start in on the eyes once I'm done with the hair. Harley has got some pretty big eyes with some really small pupils to give her a pretty intense look. So that's what I've done here. I've also blocked in her eyebrows as well, and they're kind of high up and really arched to give her, again, a more intense look. And then I think here in a little bit you'll see, yes, right here, I am actually not super happy with the way her jaw looks. I made it too long. So I'm making adjustments to her jaw to kind of shorten the face a little bit. So as you go, remember that you can always stop and make adjustments, erase things that you're not happy with, to kind of experiment with getting proportions correct and things looking the way you want them. Here I'm also blocking in her smile. One of Harley's defining features is her huge smile. So we're doing like an open-mouthed, big like grin, which is essentially an upside down triangle if you're getting technical here. So again, with Peacemaker, just follow along as best as you can and continue to make adjustments so it looks the way you want it to. Moving on to Bloodsport, really the only detail we need to worry about for this character is the teeth in the helmet. Again, this is inspired by the character in James Gunn's film, and we only need to draw in these teeth right here. The bottom set is a little bit shorter than the top set, so you can kind of see I've drawn like a line at the bottom to give the bottom teeth a place to fall. And the teeth are curved at the top of the top set of teeth and the bottom of the bottom set of teeth. And that's really all you need to worry about right now, except for a little shading in the cheekbones. For Polka Dot Man, we really need to worry about his goggles, and then we've got the mouth set already. And then you will miss it because I run out of video, but then we draw polka dots on his helmet. Okay, so I did run out of video for Polka Dot Man. My camera stopped, but if you guys need more time to work on this character, feel free to pause and take a look at what I've drawn here and copy it as best you can. After that, we can move on to King Shark. This is just darkening the eyes. We're going to be drawing in some teeth as well, and then the fin on like the back of his head to make him look more shark-like. At this point, once you've blocked in all of the details that you also want, it's time to start erasing those lines that we don't want. The bottom of that circle that acts as the base of the head, and some of those other extraneous lines that we don't need anymore. You will also probably erase some lines that you do want to keep, but you can always draw over those and use this time to make more adjustments as needed. again, this is a good time to go back in, trace over any lines that you want to keep, adjust anything, and also start drawing in extra details that you might have lost or missed before. This last step is definitely optional, but if you like at this point, if you don't want to go on to ink the drawing and then use color, if you're okay with it just being pencil, now is a good time to start shading in some areas on the characters to make them look a little bit more dynamic. I've added shading on the left side of Bloodsport, for instance, I've used a technique called cross hatching to just make the helmet look more round than it did before. I've also added a little bit of shading on Peacemaker, and we'll do some on King Shark as well to make it look like his face is really pointed. But again, this is optional. If you want to move on from here, again, you can ink your drawing and color it if you have those tools. Otherwise, this is all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.